Kieran here again. I hope you're all good. Today I would like to talk about an alternative political and economic system called, I believe the correct name will be the Life Labour system. And about a year and a half ago, I did a lot of videos about my own politico-economic proposal, which is called strict equality, and I still advocate that system, and I've been trying to think about it and refine it ever since, and should hopefully do more videos and to write more things about it as time goes on. Anyway, I am very interested in other similar systems and alternative systems generally, because I think for me there's a bit of a poverty of this sort of discussion in the world, and I also really I just like this topic, so even if it isn't the most useful thing to do, I'm still gonna probably press ahead with it. But I've no reason to believe why that sort of thinking about alternative systems won't be very useful. Now I'm more involved with this Paracon system, which I should talk about more in videos as well. But anyway, let me cut to the chase. I think I can't remember when exactly I heard about this eco money system. I think I heard about it on YouTube. I think they've got quite a lot of people vlogging, and they do some good videos. So I think I took the next step and joined their organization, or their online sort of organization, at least 6 months ago, maybe a year ago. Anyway, the people on the forum there are really friendly. They've been extremely welcoming to me on there, and I haven't. I'm terribly bad at posting on forums. I can delay for months or years, and I have been quite busy, so I haven't posted enough replies on there. But anyway, hi to all the people on that forum, the EMS forum, or Life Labour forum, or Destiny forum. I can't remember what it's called. I hope you're all good. Thanks for the welcoming messages. Okay, so onto the system itself. Roughly speaking, the proposal is, sorry if this misrepresents it slightly, guys, but roughly speaking, it's replacing our current economic system. It's really an economic system, this, replacing the economic system with a kind of two parts of the system. One part of the system is everybody in society, or roughly everybody, from the ages of 16 to 20 for 4 years of their lives, does a sort of national service kind of thing, but for doing sort of essential tasks like doing I guess health work, building work. They've actually written a list of it on there. They've got a wiki with explaining their system, and they did put a list, actually. I can't remember exactly what was on it and what wasn't, but roughly speaking, it's the sort of things the government provides, or things that are vital for life. I think it includes food. Anyway, basically, 4 years people are doing sort of forced to, as far as I can see, do essential work or essential training to get better at those things. It isn't completely draconian. I think that people have a choice of which sort of subject to take, as it were, which kind of thing to do. But presumably, there is a kind of compulsion to do something along those sort of lines during that apprenticeship, I think they call it. Now, the other part of the system is something that a lot of anarchists, I think, have advocated before. It's basically what I would call a gift economy. So for the rest of your life, after you do the national service, you're not compelled to do anything, and the expectation is that people will work, but not for money, and there's no barter. I don't know if they're thinking in terms of banning barter or banning. They wouldn't have a. There's no currency in this system at all. But anyway, the hope is. I think the example they give on the website is that if you like cutting people's hair, you're gonna go and cut people's hair to do something useful with your life rather than nothing. And I think of that as a gift economy. That's the phrase I use in association with that sort of idea. And it's the sort of thing you have in small tribes and families where there's no barter and there's no currency. They just simply people do things for each other, not really for reward or. Well, we'll come to this. I'll try and analyze it in a second. Okay, so that's the system as I understand it. If I'm getting it wrong, forgive me. And I believe that life labor system is the name of it. These people were advocating a system called equal money system, but I'm assuming this isn't. They've changed the name, or they've changed the system, or this is a different system because this system does not have money in it. Okay. I'm all for this kind of thinking of different systems and so on, and I like where the system's going, where the group's going, because they are really talking about trying to address international inequalities and that sort of thing. Whereas in other groups it sometimes isn't so international, and they're talking also they were before, particularly talking about equality. The word equality, I think, is a great word. I think it is, in a nutshell, that is a big, huge part of the problems of the world, or inequalities, in my view. I mean, I'm a raving left-winger, so I probably would say that. Okay, so, but yeah, so I am really positive about it all. I want to be part of this thing to some extent. But I do have some concerns about the system, so I might as well share them. I mean, my first concern is that, and the most obvious concern is that I don't think 4 years' work is enough time to provide all these essential services, or at least to the standard of a kind of Western country today. And as I understand it, I'm not an expert in this, but about a third of the economy in terms of work and effort seems to be government stuff, like state stuff now. So that's the equivalent of I don't know how many years the average person works in their life, but it's presumably the average person must work about over 30 years or something in their life, or maybe 30 years if you count all the. Some people don't work, obviously, and some people work more. But if you say it's 30 years that the average person works, then a third of that is something like 10 years' work to provide, or each, to provide all the government services we have. Now you might say, oh well, we don't have to provide all of those services because a lot of them are not essential, like defence, say, you might say, and some other maybe prison spending, one could argue, is not is wasted from the drug war or whatever. But so I can see when you're talking about essentials, you're bringing extra things in as well, like food. The government doesn't provide food to most people; it provides food to some people through the welfare payments, and what's the other big one? Buildings. I mean, homes. Government doesn't only provides a small amount of them, again through welfare. Not a small amount, but a small fraction of the amount for the whole society. So most of these costs are being met privately now, which suggests that it's even more years' work represented that represent the essentials. So okay, so I think I said enough about that. It seems to me on face value the 4 years isn't enough. Also, you're assuming that the university education will go away, which I don't think would be that bad actually, efficiency wise or in terms of anything. But that's another thing to consider. Are you going to try and? I mean, some university education must be useful. That's going to come out of the 4 years as well. Okay. A related point. There's kind of two more points about this compulsory 4-year thing. One is that in our present system, we people specialize. Like some people work in, work on the sewers and roads and education and the essential things, making clothes and stuff, and they kind of get better at doing them, presumably by doing them for years and years. So getting everybody to do them all for 4 years is probably a bit inefficient, because a lot of us don't want to do essentials really, so why not just let the people who don't like doing essential stuff not do essentials, and let the people who like it more do it for more than 4 years, sort of thing. I'm not saying this is a fatal problem. Efficiency isn't everything, but there's something that is, I think, a valid criticism. That's a reason to believe that we might not expect the sort of efficiency in the system that we get in our current system. So we might expect even more, might need more years with these people than we expect, because then they're not as good as our current sort of public sector workers. Another point is that compared to our current system, it is a bit draconian. I mean, you're kind of like forcing people to do something at a certain time in their life. Why should they do it then? I mean, okay, we've got to make sacrifices of freedom. My system, there are illiberal elements to the system, compulsory elements, but this is quite a little bit of hardcore sort of thing. 4 years, like those people are a little bit oppressed anyway. I can see like how their rights could really sort of easily disappear even more during that period. It could become quite ghastly for them if things go a little bit worse than we expect. Okay, last point is that on the gift economy part of the system, the voluntary part, I've never been a believer in this gift economy. I don't think it's going to produce much stuff. I think we have a voluntary sector at the moment. It does produce something, but I think, and if there was the complete absence of capitalism, it would get bigger, I'm sure. But I'm a bit skeptical that it's going to produce anything like you'd expect. I mean, I think you might get 5 years' work out of the average person for the rest of their life then. So we're really looking at an economy or society with far less material things, which isn't the end of the world. I mean, it's a good thing in some ways, but it's an issue with this system. And also, I think there is a danger of barter sort of breaking out and there being a sort of black market, and naturally sort of forming capitalism emerging, a free market emerging anyway. Okay, I think that's all I can think of for now about the system. But I mean, okay, there are some criticisms, but I'm critical of everything. I'm hopefully critical of my own system. Please be critical of my system, and I want to be part of this project. And anyway, all the best to everybody. Hope you enjoyed that, whether you're inside this movement or not. All the best.